Hey guys, obviously I'm not in today, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to take you through a little lesson here in this video, so that way you can uh, stay on track with the other classes here. And we're going to go over a check register, and we're going to do a practice one today, and then tomorrow I'm going to give you a register, and we'll do a little quiz with this here. So kind of like budgeting, we'll do a practice one today and then a test one tomorrow. So I'm going to get you started, and then you guys will spend the class today working on the rest of it to see if you can get the hang of it and prepare for the register quiz tomorrow. So this check register is basically it's something people will use to keep track of their transactions with a checking account. So that way you'll know how much money you have in your account at any given time, and it's just a good thing to do here. Okay, so what we've got. All right, so if you go to the classroom page here and look for the check register section, there's going to be two documents for you. So the first one is what you see on your screen right now, this check register number one document, and this has just a series of transactions you're going to go through and enter into a register. Then there's a sheet, mine's called answer key. Yours is going to be called practice check register, that will look like this. So go ahead and open those two documents up. So the PDF file and then the the register spreadsheet that looks like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice simulating some transactions you would make with a checking account. So we're going to be moving these transactions here into our register, so that way we can keep a nice balance of how much money we have in. Okay, so let's get through it. So I'm going to take you through about 3 or 4 transactions to kind of show you and give you some of the main transaction types. Then you're going to go through and do the rest on your own. Okay, so on the document here, there's a lot of information up here that's not going to apply to us because we're not, doing this in Excel, so you don't have to worry about doing any of this stuff. Where I want you to start is where it says fill in the beginning balance. So this line right here. Okay, so this is how much money we currently have in our checking account, $1,245.95. So I need you to go to the spreadsheet and type that number right here. Okay, so look right where I've got it selected. So it says beginning balance, and type in our beginning balance in our checking account. So we've got a good balance, a good amount of money, but now we're going to go through and simulate, updating your check register as you spend money from your checking account on different things. All right, so let's scroll down. All right, we'll talk about these these other things here in a moment. But let's go down to number one. So it says on January 5th, we wrote a check for $500 to City Financial Mortgage for house payment. Okay, so here it says use one of the attached checks to actually write this out and list in your register. Don't worry about that. We're just going to be listing it in our register. Okay, so there's our first transaction. We write a check for $500 to City Financial Mortgage for our house payment. Okay, so to fill this in, moving from left to right here, we always start in column A. It says check number or transaction type. So since we wrote a check, okay, we wrote a check, we're going to put the check number in here. All right, up here it says the beginning check number is 201. Okay, so since that's the number of the check, we're going to put that right there. Okay, then the date was January 5th, so we put that in the next column. So we go check number, because we are writing a check to someone, and then the date. This next column C says pay to the order of. So this is who did we write the check to? Who are we paying money to? So when you look back here, it says we wrote a check to City Financial Mortgage. So that's who we're paying money to. That's who we're writing this check to. So in this column, we're just going to type in City Financial Mortgage. Okay, so that's what will go there because that's who we're writing the check to. Memo, that's just a little like housekeeping on our end, just gonna, it's gonna give us a chance to remember what we wrote our check up to or what it was for. So we're just gonna type in house payment. All right, because this is the mortgage. And it even says it in here. We wrote $500 to City Financial for your house payment. Okay, so now we've got to make a decision. We've got column E, which is payment, and column G, which is deposit. It's got to be one or the other, can't be both. So since we're writing a check to someone, it would be a payment. So this would be $500 because that is the amount that's listed right here, 500 bucks. Okay, so then there would not be anything here. There's no deposit. So now we just need to keep a balance of our money. All right, so to do that, again, if you want to use Excel to do that, just hit the equal sign. All right, and then our beginning balance is $1,245.95, and then we'll subtract 500 because that's how much we spent. And then, hang on, I made an error because I did not put a space after that. There we go. What's my error here? Do they not like the comma? Let me see if that's what it is. There we go. So I didn't like my comma in the 1,245. So again, it's 1,000. We started with 1,245, spent $500. So now we have $745 left. All right, and then if you want to put in this column here, this is an example of a written check. All right, so that might be, let me just make this column a little bigger. Drag that up. There we go. All right, so that way if you want to put that in column I, just to give yourself a little reminder of that, so when you get to a check later, you can look back to this one. So that's example one. Now again, just to review, if you want to have Excel, or excuse me, the spreadsheet do the math for you, so that way you just have to click, remember you go equal sign, click on the first cell, hit the minus sign, click on that one, and then you get the same result. Again, the only benefit is if you change numbers, that number will automatically update. Okay, so you might want to do it that way. All right, so that, though, is our first example of a check being written. Okay, problem 2 says we get gas from Tiger Mart using our debit card. Okay, so this one, similar, but a couple differences. So first thing, though, is we want to keep in mind this transaction code DC for debit card. Okay, so when we come to column A, it's either transaction number or transaction, check number or transaction type. We didn't write a check, so there's no number, so the transaction type will be DC for debit card. All right, the date of this was on the 5th, so 1/5 again. All right, and then paid to the order of, again, we didn't write a check, but we still want to put where we spent the money at, so we're going to put in Tiger Mart, all right, because Tiger Mart is where we went and got gas at. Okay, moving along, we can just put gasoline or gas, something for the memo. All right, the payment for this one, all right, it was $20, because again, we're paying money. Okay, so that's why it's 20 bucks. And again, we just click over to our balance one, and then again, we're going to go equal sign. We just have to subtract $745 from 20. Again, you can probably do that in your head, but I'm just going to do the spreadsheet method. So I'm going to click on my first cell, hit minus, click on my second one, and our new balance is $725.95. Okay, so that is an example of a debit card transaction. Okay, so then let's see a couple more here, and then I'll let you work on the rest on your own here. Okay, so the next one, let's talk about a deposit. Okay, so again, we get a deposit, which is always good. That means we got paid. All right, so it says on January 6th, we deposited a check for $100. We're going to ignore the rest of this one here. We're just going to focus on the $100 deposit. And again, we don't have deposit slips to fill in, so we're just going to make a deposit into our account for $100. Now, again, the transaction type is listed up top here, DEP for deposit. All right, so let's go back to our spreadsheet and enter this in. Okay, so in column A, we're just going to put in DEP for deposit. This happened on January 6th. And then we're going to move along. So it's now, since we are not paying money, we're receiving money. It's a deposit. We will leave paid to the order of blank. All right, we're just going to move over here. And for the memo, we can just say deposit, because it really doesn't say what the deposit was from. So we can just leave that as is. All right, now since we are getting money, it's not a payment because it's a deposit. We go to the deposit column, and we're just going to put $100 in here. Okay, so now we got to keep our running balance going. So the only thing that's different is instead of subtracting, we're going to add because it's in the deposit column. All right, so we're going to go, again, we'll go $725. So I'm going to click on that first cell. Now we're going to use the plus sign, and then we're going to add the $100 to it. And now we're at $825. Okay, so that is an example of a deposit. Okay, so as you move through here, those are the three main types of transactions you're going to see. So either you're going to write a check, as we did in the first one here, you're going to make or use your debit card, as we did here, or you're going to make a deposit, which we did with this one here. Okay, so those are the three examples I wanted to show you here on this video. Okay, so now as you go through here, this is where I'm going to let you guys start working through this on your own. You're going to do the remaining transactions here and see if you can get the same balance that I do. So when you are done, just head up to the desk by the big screen there, and I've got some answer keys taped on the countertop where you can check to see, you know, where your work, you know, so if you got some things wrong, you can try to fix that up here. But this, if you can get this right and understand it, you will do very well tomorrow when I give you the graded register in class here. Okay, so you can work with each other, help each other out, you know, so that way you're all getting the gist of it here. But as you're going through, just be careful with your numbers. And if you do notice you made a mistake, again, the benefit of changing, you know, again, of doing the cell method as I did is if you notice that, again, that gas should have been 25, is that so when you change 25 here, all the other numbers change as well, so you don't have to go through and do them all over again. So it's kind of the benefit of doing that method. All right, but at this point though, you guys should be all set to go. Again, you've got 3 examples of the transactions you're going to see throughout the way. So as you look at the transaction, again, if you get a paycheck, that means it's a deposit. You're getting paid for your work. So just look for those keywords of payment or deposit in each of the remaining transactions to kind of help you out, and you should be able to get this taken care of. So have a good rest of class today. Have a good Halloween tonight. If you're going out doing some trick-or-treating, have some fun with it, and then we'll see you back in class tomorrow. All right, good job, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.